The following is a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Please note that while we will cover a multitude of topics, including many alleged health benefits, all information provided should be considered anecdotal and informational. Please consult with your physician before adding cannabis to your medical regimen. Cannabis is for adults 21 years of age and older. Also, paid sponsorships are not to be misconstrued as preferred or favored by the host. In any way, they are merely that, paid sponsorships. Happy Saturday, Nevada and beyond. Welcome back to another episode of Get Elevated with Gia. I am in the studio with the Magic Man Ray Fletcher and Thomas, our show producers. Hello, fellas. Thanks for joining me. We are here for part 2 of the new cannabis channel called Connected with our cannabis media maven, Carrie Accardi. Carrie, welcome back. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to your phone.
Every time I hear that word, I giggle. My brother read it and he goes, I had to look it up.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, for those of you joining the show for the first time, thank you so much for being here. And our goal here is global access, awareness, and education of this magical, magical plant. And who better than Carrie Accardi? She is a cannabis media maven. On the first episode of this part 2 series, she talked about her journey to cannabis. And as so many, Carrie, you came to us with a medical story. You know, cannabis could have done more for your aunt, a death and a passing that triggered. And what you have created and are launching here in 2021 in this next month or so is going to change the way the world sees cannabis. So I couldn't think of anybody better than you to have on this show. So thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to be here with me now and to help educate. So, Carrie, of course, I want to start this show with understanding the channel, a new cannabis channel. And you talk about, quote, the narrative. Do you want to start telling us what that's about and where that's going to take us on the channel?
The narrative, the way I look at the narrative is really, I guess it's kind of, you know, partially what I've learned since legalization. And so it's the story since legalization in 2014, starting in Seattle and then, you know, across the country and the globe. There's been a lot of people that have been pushing for cannabis legislation and laws and access for many, many, many years.
Right.
Far more than just the past 5. And as I started on my journey, they were who was teaching me. And as they were teaching, I was like, whoa, others need to see and learn about this as well.
Right.
And so what I mean is veterans like Michael Crowitz, who works with the WHO organization and who pushes for veterans access and who attends different conferences, seminars, speaking on international panels, working with different veterans, or doctors like Dr. Souffle, who, you know, was the first federally funded researcher for cannabis and PTSD. So we have video with Sue, a lot of video with Sue, but I have one picture in my mind that it's just so profound to me, where she's standing on stage and she has this huge, like, if you put your arms all the way out that big, a plastic bag with these empty pill bottles in them. Oh. And behind her is a line of like 12 veterans.
Wow.
As she's talking about the cannabis and the medicine, the benefits versus, you know, what's happening to the veterans, or not just veterans, people with PTSD or people that are going down the opioid,
absolutely,
you know, dark road. And what people don't understand is, like, there comes a point where these aren't a choice, right? It's a physical addiction takes over. And so if you trust your doctor, right, because those are the ones we're supposed to trust, and the doctor says, yes, Carrie, take this pill because this is going to help you with your pain in your back, right, or whatever.
Yep.
And then I take that pill, except now that pill's giving me nightmares. So he goes, okay, Carrie, we'll take this pill. And
help with your nightmares, right?
To help you get the nightmares from the other pill, right?
Yeah.
Before I know it, I'm like on all these pills, right?
Yep.
Well, what happens when I go on all these pills, and I don't take pills, so I'm only going off from what people told me. So I don't do any I don't do any pills.
Sure.
And so I go down this, like, I can't even think. I don't feel like I'm they're not there, like they're not really conscious, right? And so
Sure.
when I talk to veterans and I say, what does it do for you? And they go, it doesn't take the PTSD away. It doesn't it just makes it tolerable enough where I can enjoy my life. The pills, I can't enjoy my life because I'm in pain or I can't go to the bathroom or I'm being mean to I'm being violent because
Absolutely.
there's real
Aggressive behavior.
real serious.
Yep.
Yeah, there's there's real abuse happening here. This isn't a joke. This is people getting knives to their throat. Real abuse from pills.
Yeah.
That if this person never took that pill, it would never have happened.
Right.
And we have to take it real serious. And so, that when you're looking at the option of a plant that you can grow, and then you can take that plant, maybe make a topical and rub it on you for pain, or maybe you put it in your food and just enough where you're going to ease that mental stress, right? PTSD is a mental stress, and you're going to just ease it enough where you can still communicate with your friends and family. You're not bedridden, right? Or you're not scared of yourself of what am I going to do? I can't even be around people.
Right. You don't trust yourself. Right. That's
you don't
so
trust
scary.
yourself.
Yeah. So let's break down these things. The Marvin Washington piece.
So he's a Super Bowl champ, and he played for the Jets for 8 years, and he won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He got into cannabis, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And so when we connected, I wanted people to see what the journey of cannabis is through an athlete.
Sure.
So how else do we share that? And so the only way I knew is to have them share it. So we have Marv in different interviews, not being interviewed where he's interviewing others.
Sure.
He's interviewing doctors. He's interviewing people like you that have a radio show. So we have different scenarios like that. I have him where he's in a lab learning how to make CBD, and he's sitting with a doctor, and she's explaining why it works and how it works and how it could work. Cannabis and CBD works with our body and CBD. And then we have him, again, interviewing another football player, Boo Williams, and they talk about suicide and football and cannabis. So it's very interview.
So much there.
Heavy, but on location. We're in different places and we're traveled. All over. There's Marv and I filmed in LA and Florida and New York and, all over.
How did you guys find each other?
Oh my God, it's such a funny story. I was in the CW Expo in New York. I think it was 2015, maybe 16, I don't remember. But he was in the expo and I had a crew in the front set up. So there was they were filming already in the front, and I was walking around doing something, and I'm like a producer. So he was walking down the hall. It was imagine a hall, and you go eye to eye. And he was walking down with a friend of mine. And he came up, and I'm talking to him. I go, come on, let's get you on camera. And he said no to me. And I go,
oh, no.
You can't say no. I go, you can't say no. We're educating the world about cannabis. And he goes, okay. And then,
Love it.
Then he walks over to we go over to the set. It's already set up, lights and all that. So they start micing him up and, putting all the mic and cameras ready.
Sure.
And I grab a chair because I'm really tiny. I'm a petite person. And I grab a chair and I step on the chair and I show him eyeline. He's like, what are you doing?
Gosh.
I go, I like to look people in the eyes. And that's how we started.
That's hilarious, Carrie. You must be tiny. Well, he's also probably really big.
I'm tiny and he's big.
There you go.
It's kind of funny.
That's adorable.
In pictures, yeah. It's cool, and now Marv is friends. Marv had a lawsuit against the Jeff Sessions for cannabis and it being illegal. And, Marv's real heavy into the cannabis space. We're going to go into season 2 and we'll go into dealing with whatever it is at hand. The way I looked at it, I studied TV because I don't watch TV. I was like, how are people reaching people? Sure. So I was like, it's all these different audiences and different shows. And so that's how I came up with some of these programs. It wasn't about originality. We're putting cannabis in there. I don't need to be any different than that.
Right.
But it makes it real normal to the eye. So everything
that makes sense.
See is really normal. It looks like the nurse talk looks more like The View. And we had it set up with a table and, guests on the table with their little coffee cup.
Gia will be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Can, the world's first microdose THC beverage, is now available in dispensaries all over Nevada. Out of all drinks in 2019, cannabis or not, BevNet recognized Can as the best new beverage. It's only 30 to 35 calories per serving and comes in 3 delicious and award-winning flavors: lemon lavender, blood orange cardamom, and grapefruit rosemary. More information and where to buy your 6-pack of Can is available at our website, drinkcan.com. That's with 2 N's, drinkcan.com.
So as far as other segments of the channel, let's talk about Nurse Talk, nurses' take on medical cannabis. Nurse Heather, how'd you guys meet?
We met, I was in Colorado 2015 for 420 week. And where I was staying, a friend of mine, Chris Morwood, who's in the space, we were having events there a lot. And I met Heather at one of the events because they were good friends.
Okay.
And that's actually when I had brought the senator. Positive Nelson was in town.
Wow.
So I had met Positive Nelson in Seattle. Yeah, I had met him and the whole delegation, another senator. I mean, this is how funny life is.
Yeah. 2
senators, their whole delegation, I couldn't make this up. The senators' names were Senator Positive and Senator Roach.
Stop it. Wow. That's perfect. That's perfect.
I said, this is my life. So my cousin lives in the Virgin Islands. I had talked about opening, when my aunt was dying, I had talked about opening a hospice and all this stuff.
Oh, my.
It was at the time I met him, I remember, you like going through a line and shaking his hand. It was a private invite only event. And I said, your name's Positive. And he's like, yeah. I go, we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I connected with him, the delegation there. They invited me to another event. I was flying out the next day to go to Denver.
Okay.
Well, they were coming to Denver in a couple of days. So I gave them my number. And we were in communication. So when I was at these parties, I'm always an educator. I literally I stopped the party. I invited I'm talking 10, 15 guys from the Virgin Islands and girls to this party. And before it, I told them, I stopped the party and I go, I invited the delegation. They're seeking medical cannabis information. And here's the opportunity. And that was when Heather also met Positive, her husband Ken, and Dr. Sue Sisley. And they all ended up testifying on their bill.
Wow.
So back to the Nurse Talk. Like, we have Heather. So Heather on Nurse Talk, we have her in the Virgin Islands testifying on their bill. Okay. We have Heather going to camera, talking about whatever it is, the endocannabinoid system, dosing, PTSD, methods of ingestion, overdose. Like even when you have dysphoria, if you take too much, we are very honest and authentic. We have her in with moms, Mariah Barnhart and Renee Petro on Closed Set, talking about they have children that are, one has brain cancer and the other one has another disease. I can't remember the name offhand. Sure. And they're talking about, why zip codes matter when your child is sick. And that this isn't even fair.
It's so bad when you think about
happening. It's fair right now in cannabis, and the world's going to know. And then with power to the people, they can get up and go make the move.
Yeah,
so we're about empowering.
And there's one more piece: the Faces of Cannabis. So thought leaders in the legal cannabis and hemp. So what's your vision for that part?
It's really a profile series.
Okay.
High-level profile series. Wanda James, first Black dispensary owner. Dr. Dina, inspiration for weeds, a little Landon Riddles, 10 years old, 8 years cancer-free because of cannabis.
Oh, God bless.
What's funny is that we're in pre-pro. This is older stuff. So, we have way more programs, by the way, than those 3.
Sure.
I mean, that whole Colton Turner piece is a whole show.
Absolutely.
It's a whole show.
Absolutely.
Besides the Minute, the Seattle Hemp Fest, we have a whole docu-series, 4 years, music and panels and everything.
You've got most of it done, right?
Stuff.
Like, you're ahead of the game on this channel. You've got the content.
This stuff is done. Yeah. Our new stuff is the cooking show, the grow shows. Like, we got grow shows we're in development for mainstream. Sure. You all can grow. People can grow in New York. You can grow in California. Yes. People can grow all over. Yes. They don't know how. How do I grow? What do I use? What kind of soil? What kind of seed? What kind of light? What do I do, right?
What were the critical pieces to get this done? How did you make this happen finally? How did you actually get a channel?
Yeah, well, what happened is I always planned on doing it, but I had a much more expensive plan because we were building ours out custom.
Sure.
The OTT didn't exist. Once I found out that I could turnkey this, I was like, oh,
Okay.
beautiful. I already have the content.
There you go. Yeah, and it's going to give the plant the respect that it deserves. I mean, you can't deny these things. It's just and this gives people a way if they're just like casually curious about it, you know, cuz I think once you see one of those videos, you're like, "Okay, well, let me just see a little bit more." This is going to change the world.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
your goal.
believe that.
Yeah,
I really
and you've been
believe
handed
We're
that.
planting seeds in a really, and we don't, you know, the way I did it, Dia, is the way I did it. Like I built it. Brick
Yeah,
by
you
brick
did.
by brick.
Yeah, you did.
And
Hats
so,
off to you.
I did it in a way that you can't break what I have because I have relationships.
Yes.
You may have more money. You may have more access.
You've got a
You may
different
have
kind
this,
of currency.
You don't have the knowledge and the relationships that I have.
Yeah.
And you don't have 10 or 20 terabytes of footage already filmed.
Right. So, okay, for everyone listening, tell us where we can just more about the channel for more information. When do you expect it to be there when they pop on the Roku? Give us more details.
CANNECTED.tv. That's going to give everyone information. We're not charging people for the channel. And so just to stay in the loop, a new cannabis.channel.com is an informational page. Oh, actually, I do have something else. We have a Canna Guide, too.
Okay.
A Canna Guide coming out, and the Canna Guide is like a guide to cannabis products. So it's like old school, like think like Eagle or, you know, Sears catalogs where you see products and you see information, but you have to pick up the phone to order or send back that little card. So there's no e-commerce. We're not hustling anyone. We're not selling. And but we're going to have, like, let's say it's Jack Harabrand. Maybe he has some new herb. You'll 3 pictures, a description, and then a box that will say, take me to the store. And then you can go to their store. So, like, any kind of CBD product or anyone that wants to either be involved or wants to see what's going on, it's going to be good for both of them. And we're, like I said, it's really, and we're going to run commercials on our channel. So I have a really fun commercial. I'll text it to you when we're done, already done. And it's like cute. It's like, you want to learn about cannabis? So a new cannabischannel.com has that information as well, has about the channel, advertising, just some of the programming. There's behind the scenes photos. You can see us filming with the football players and stuff.
I saw some of that. And so
and
when
420media.us has just some of our advertising, just info, our Super Bowl like press that we've done and things like that. Is what's out.
And you're thinking May now for launch?
No, so we're right now. It looks like I'm really waiting on my what's out of my hands. So as long as everything goes through as planned, we'll have the app will be downloadable on 420.
Nice.
So there's some content on there that will be there.
Yep.
And then we're gonna push some stuff into May because I want to add a live shoot into it.
Okay.
I would say like right now. Once the app, I mean, like I said, out of my hands more just through the testing and the different stuff that are tech problems. As long as that app, I get the approval, I'm going to open it up for download on 420. And that has already about 50 short videos.
Nice.
So we could be like the Quibi of cannabis. Like, go watch this. Like that minute one you saw.
Yeah. And
then we'll present the other stuff, the Fifth Quarter, Nurse Talk, the Faces of Cannabis. I'm in talks about doing a live shoot. So we were going to do a live shoot of when I talked to you the other day on May 1st and just launch the whole thing live.
Yep.
But after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? We have some other really bigger stuff coming out. Maybe we should push it a couple of weeks and we'll announce everything and do it. So I'm talking to my team before we make a decision.
Okay.
TBD.
I love
I'll keep you posted. Yeah. Everybody will know. But the cool thing is that I didn't go to corporate to give me all this money where they're allowed to be down my neck or any of that kind of stuff. So we're going to do it where it feels right. At the end of the day, if I put one video out, just one, and someone in Australia or in Israel and France or wherever says, I learned about the endocannabinoid system from that one video, then I did what I said I was going to do.
Yeah. You know, Carrie.
So I already feel like I did that.
Yeah. I feel like even within this airing, probably someone will be drawn to it because that seems to be the way it works. So I was going to ask, like, what else are you passionate about? But is there anything else?
When you say that,
What else is
I
left?
just realized, like, recently I liked something. I was like, oh my God, I do like other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I love, this year my goal is actually to start to get a life.
Okay.
So that's
Right.
outside of cannabis. I love dancing. I'm a big dancer.
Really? Like salsa or just like hip hop? What you got?
I just love dancing in general. Will dance by myself here. I go outside under the stars. I'll dance if I'm sad. I dance if I'm happy.
I
like
get it.
music.
Little
So
cannabis-inspired dance?
I need that in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little cannabis-inspired dance?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And just, and I'm a yogi. I love yoga.
Okay, me too.
Travel. I'm spiritual. Like I tell people to add weirdness to like my goals.
Yeah.
After I launch this media empire and this is, I move on, I'm going to like start talking to dead people and stuff.
Well, funny you say that.
Like I want to do, I like exploring life.
I love that.
I live it.
Yeah.
Now for a quick word from our sponsors. From the chief lobbyist of Matos Consulting, Jay is spearheading a new bill for consumption lounges. Jay is passionate about alternative places to consume cannabis so our city and the Strip can remain family-friendly.
Somebody the other day, I'm in a leadership role and I've got this and I do stand-up comedy and all this and I'm super spiritual as well. And someone said, you know what, Gia, you are the woo-woo. You are the woo-woo. Like if you look up woo-woo in a dictionary, there's my face. So I feel you on that. And I think it's a beautiful blend. And this plant is a spiritual plant. It's a God plant. So that wouldn't surprise me. And I'm glad that you're building a life into all this passion so that you have other stories to tell, right? All the other things that, this plant brings us to in our personal lives, right?
Well, it's so cool. It's because it does. Like even, back in the day, back in 2014, my friend Don Jameson was a host on a show called That Metal Show on VH1.
Okay.
VH1 Classic. And Don was in Seattle when I was there. Him and a guy named Jim Florentine and Eddie Trunk. And so they were at a show. So I went down to their show. And right next door was a dispensary. So I'm like, come on, let's go take it. Let me take you on a tour.
Right.
So I have a video taking him on a tour. And like, we go through the first time he was there. And he's making comments like, oh, imagine New Jersey's like this. So I know when I'm back in Jersey, I'm going to call them. I'm like, let's go. Let's host something. Let's do something, right? You guys?
Right.
I feel like there's real, like, it's just so real now. And the fact that, I actually have an outlet now, you build it and they will come is real.
Yeah.
And we've built so much more that I'm much more about alliance. I don't look at, the only competition I look at really is stigma, right? Stigma's our competition.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel that.
That's where I fight. And sometimes the government, but I try to even stay away from getting too involved in that and just focus on just empowering others with knowledge so they can make an informed decision on their own.
Right.
If you don't have to use cannabis after you see everything and you don't want to use it, don't.
Right.
But it's not fair. Like,
but just educate. Yeah. See everything first before you make a decision.
Because they don't have the option.
Yeah.
If you get an option to use cannabis oil instead of something else, that should be your first choice.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Arthritis, diabetes, cancer,
I know.
every pain, PTSD, everything.
Carrie, let me ask you. Are you a flower girl?
Flower all day. I love it. I love it. I just started doing edibles recently more.
Really? Okay.
Because my body's feeding. It's telling me.
Yeah.
I do everything cannabis. I put cannabis lotion on and then I put it in my tea.
I love
eat it and then I'll smoke it.
I love that. What's your favorite strains? You got some favorites?
Yeah, my all-time that I will just always love is Blue Dream, to be honest with you.
Okay. I see you.
I just, it's very consistent for me, and I like consistency. I have stomach issues,
okay.
So I like that. I like green crack.
Okay.
I like candy. I love super lemon haze. I like the citrus.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah. But then I like OG stuff like, oh my goodness, this one I used to get. What's it called? I can't. I mean, it might have been a Snoop. It might have been like a brand Snoop Dogg house or something, but it was a heavy one.
Okay.
And I just like it. I like it.
It slows you down.
I like it all. I got like 10 kinds in front of me right now. I like it all.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is I love flower too because I love to experience what each strain will bring, with the terpene profiles, and, gone are the real classifications, indica, sativa, hybrid, right? Just like look at the flower smell it. Does it resonate with you? And then how does it make you feel? And I had this recent experience. It was a new strain that I'd never had, peanut butter souffle. It was a hybrid, whatever that means anymore. And Carrie, I was dancing all weekend. I was by myself most of the weekend, and that strain had me. I was feeling them beats. You ever have a strain where the music and I was sitting there looking at my puppies that's swirling around my kitchen, and I was like, I don't know what everyone else is doing this Friday night, but I'm having a blast. Just an absolute blast. So I feel you on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and it's so important, too, that people don't realize that it matters, and there's different effects and different ways that it's grown and how it's cured and taken care of and used. It all matters, and there are
differences.
Herbs, and unbelievable.
Yes.
The taste, the smell, the effect, the feeling.
That's right.
And even like when you get into a concentrate and I don't dab a lot, but I enjoy it when I do. And what I really like is the taste. When you talk about a terpene taste, when you get a good dab.
Yes, I get that.
Oh my God, it's like a good meal. You get these flavors in your mouth, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, girl, you're making me hungry. You're making me hungry.
Drink wine. Yep, I know.
I love it.
And so, I'm excited. We'll be doing stuff like new programming, like dining shows, cooking shows, like anything you see on TV right now, business.
I love it.
We have a TMZ. We have a TMZ of cannabis, the whole thing, girl.
I love it.
We're going all in.
I love it. Well, Carrie, if Get Elevated can help you in any way, or if I can, I'm here. I know we're just getting started on our connection. And I guess one final question, is there anything else that you want the listeners to know about the channel and your goal and your mission? Anything at all?
What I want people to know is you all have an endocannabinoid system, and that system regulates all the other body parts, our digestive and other systems. So we have receptors for cannabis, CB1, CB2. They're finding CB3 and more receptors throughout our body.
Yep.
And on a molecular level, cannabis works for us, and it helps.
Yes.
And so I say, go to PubMed, Google ECS, Google endocannabid system, get in touch with Gia or me, and it exists. So,
our body was made for this plant.
So, get out of your own way.
Absolutely.
Get out of your own way, but don't argue with people. Get the informed first.
Absolutely.
Many people are talking too much nonsense right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're ruining it.
I agree. Carrie, your energy, and I know it's late where you are, your energy is contagious, and I'm so proud as another female leader in cannabis. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm excited to follow your work, to be a part of it, and to share more of it as it grows. So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and thank you for all the listeners that are here. This is big stuff. Cannabis is changing the world. In some of our episodes, Carrie, I invite you to look back. There might be some people that you want for your show, but we had a physician on here talking about cannabis and the evolution of mankind. Like, that is a big topic. So there's healing benefits. We had some ladies here, our local legislative, talking about, cannabis and consumption venues and things. There's just so much to take with this plant. So more to come, Carrie. I'd love to have you back in a few months after you're launched and you're excited and you're on to your next project. So let's please stay in touch.
Definitely.
Yep. Thank you. And so real quick, for more information on the channel, please tell us one more time where to find you.
Connected. CANNECTED.tv is to subscribe.
Yep.
To find more information, a newcannabischannel.com.
There it is.
To get in touch with me, you can just get, Kerry at 420media.agency, or any of those sites should get to me if you need a message. Or Kerry Carty, get me across social. I believe in this. I like helping others to empower them. So good for you, Gia, for doing this show.
Yeah.
It's important. It's powerful.
Thank you.
And your voice is loud. And
I
I'm
accept.
excited about what's going to happen.
Yay. Well, dear friends, as I always like to say, welcome to the future of cannabis. My name is Gia. I'll be your tour guide.
You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.